Hi, Peggy Beauregard here. Apartments or due diligence. How to do your due diligence for analyzing apartment buildings. Well, the first thing we do is we read the executive plan that the syndicator sends to us. The syndicator is the person or team who puts the deal together, finds the property, puts it under contract, gets the loan. And we will be doing a video regarding the syndicators. After completing the executive plan, we review the income and expenses. We check if we think the expenses are in line. Is this a good deal based on the net operating income? We check if everything is covered in the expenses. Have they left anything out, like perhaps the new taxes, for instance? Is the property management the correct fees for that area? Because every area charges different fees. Then we look at how they are adding value, because one of the requirements of our investors is to have our money grow. The way to have your money grow is to have the add value properties. How is that going to happen? Part of add value is vacancies. We look at the vacancy rate, see how long that they have been vacant. Is it a high vacancy rate or is it a low vacancy rate? The higher the vacancy rate, the better the profit. The sooner you'll be able to build in more income. We like to see if they have automated payments. And we like to also make sure that the management doesn't take cash, because we think that allowing management to take cash is a problem for a loss of income. The neighborhood is the next thing we look at. There are different classes, A, B, C, D. So there's two kinds of classes around apartment buildings or around any kind of place you're buying. There's the area, and then there's the building itself. An A-class property means it's a very high-end, very nice units. If this were a B property or a C-class property, where would there be room for improvement? We like to look at the area, and see what kind of area that is. If the units are a C-class property in a B-class area, we think that's really good. This is a reason to be able to make more money, because you'll be able to take this C-class building and make it a B-class building, be able to get more rent, being in a little bit better tenant, and like that kind of thing. So how else could they improve the property? That's what we look at. We look to see where they want to put capital and where that capital is going to improve, and will they be able to bring in better rents? Will they be able to rehab the place and add new green things that the tenants would want? So all of that's really important to look at. And you need to know the kind of neighborhood it is, because I went through a training class one time and she said, look to the left and look to the right. And if everybody else is doing it, you have to do it too. So if you get into an apartment complex and you see they put in all new windows, you have to do that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get the higher rents. And then we look at how and when we're going to get our cash flow. How long will they be holding this project? How much will the capital improvements cost? So those are very important things. We like to look at if they're raising rents and how they're raising rents. So one needs to know is how much are they going to raise the rents if they're going to do that, and how much is the current tenant paying. So if a tenant's paying about $400 a month, let's say, and the syndicator plans to raise the rent $100, will they be able to get that? My guess is they won't be able to get that because the income someone is making, they can afford $400 a month. If you raise it $100, they're not making the kind of income that they could just pay now $500 a month. So if you raise those rents, then what's going to happen is people are going to move out. If people move out, then you've got to rehab the place. You're going to have a loss of rent. How long will it take to turn over? At that time, are you going to be able to expand it in some way to make it nicer and bring in a different kind of tenant who can afford that kind of rent? And how are you going to get a higher price tenant in if you still have a lot of lower price tenants already in the property? I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but those are things that an experienced syndicator knows how to deal with. They've been doing this and they're experienced at it. And we aren't working with syndicators that are doing their first deal. We're working with experienced syndicators. So basically, that's what we look at on my list. We looked at the neighborhoods. We looked at the cash flow. So again, if this is a deal that I like, that we think is a good deal, and we would invest our money in it, then we would put that out to you so you could look at it. If we didn't think like the $400 to $500 was going to work, we again are going to call the syndicator and have a conversation with them. How is it possible that they think that they could get this? So all those questions get asked. So if you have any questions, please call me at 804-317-2036. Do you need any other information? And if you do, then call me at 804-317-2036. If you know anyone who's interested in investing in apartments, please have them call me. And we can talk about what is right for you and for them. Everyone has a different goal in mind. It's your financial freedom. How do you want to get there? What we appreciate about real estate and people matching is the best property to the goal. Coming up next, have you ever thought about those new homes or a shopping center and how it gets built? They're called ground up buildings. And the next subject for financial freedom and compounding your money. Stay tuned. Once again, thank you very much for your time and attention.